This conference will now be recorded.
Good evening. We'll be starting class in 2 minutes. We'll be waiting for others to join. So we'll start the class. All of you can hear my voice clearly, right? Okay. Yeah. So good evening. Yesterday we have seen about supervised learning as well as unsupervised learning. You have seen the differences between supervised learning as well as unsupervised learning. So what is the difference between supervised learning and unsupervised learning? Yeah, anyone give your answer in the chat. What is the difference? What is the difference between supervised learning and unsupervised learning? What is the prime difference between them? Yes. So generally in supervised learning we use labeled data. Okay. So whereas in unsupervised learning we use unlabeled data. Okay. So means your data is not labeled. Okay, that is the basic difference between supervised learning and unsupervised learning. So we have seen few examples for supervised learning as well as for unsupervised learning also. Okay, so supervised learning is classified into two types. One is, yeah, excellent, Sridipti. Yeah, excellent answer. So supervised learning classified into two categories. What are they? So actually we classified supervised learning into two categories. So what are the two categories under supervised learning? You can give answer. Yes, you can type in the chat. There are two types in supervised learning. One is classification, another one is regression, right? So we have seen what is classification, what is regression, okay, and we have seen few examples also. We are going to see in detail about regression algorithms in this class itself. Okay, so the third type is reinforced learning. See, there are three types of machine learning algorithms. One is supervised learning, second one unsupervised learning, third one is reinforced learning. So reinforced learning generally don't use training data. So see, if there is no training data, see, remember, in supervised learning and unsupervised learning we have training data, but in reinforced learning we don't have training data. Okay, remember, we don't have training data, but the system itself has to interact with the environment to generate data, and it has to learn from it. For example, take a simple example. So this is the system. Now this system wants to learn about this particular input. Okay, actual input is apple. Okay, so this is the input. Now the system says it's a mango. System says it's a mango. Then so it can give anything, but it depends on purely depends on trial and error. Remember, works purely based on trial and error concept. Okay, now the response is mango. So now we give the feedback is okay, it's wrong, it's not an apple. Okay, so then it will note it down. Okay, it's not mango, it's an apple. Okay, it should understand this. Okay, so we give the feedback wrong, it is not a mango but it is an apple. So we have to provide this feedback to this particular system. When you provide this, so it learned here. Okay, it understood here. So now the system understood that this is apple. Okay, once it learned, okay, so next time whenever you feed apple, automatically it will understand that this is an apple. Okay, so reinforced learning generally works in trial and error basis. Okay, it has to get experience to to actually make decisions. Okay, how it will get experience? So it will get experience through experience only. Remember, it will get experience only through experience. That is called as reinforced learning. So reinforced learning is very different from supervised and unsupervised learning. So generally we use reinforced learning in robotics. Okay, if you want to design autonomous robot, it is very useful to use reinforced learning. Okay, so we'll be seeing about more details about reinforced learning here. Okay, so see, for example, some man lost in Ireland. For example, some man lost in Ireland, so he is now in Ireland. So for example, he is staying somewhere. Okay, so yeah, Nitish, you can hear in this. Okay, you will get clear understanding about reinforced learning in this example. Okay, so see here, this is the system. Here, man is a system. Now he is in the island. Okay, now he don't know what to eat and where to sleep. So where he has to stay, what he should wear. So he don't know anything, right? Now he don't know what animals are there in the island. Okay, so now what he has to do, he is now experiencing everything, right? He will be observing different things, like different fruits maybe he is seeing. So he will try to eat them. If they are good, he will eat. Otherwise, okay, he may get ill. If the fruit is not good, some fruits may be poisonous, so he may get ill, and then he will try to learn, okay, I should not eat this fruit, this is the poisonous fruit, I should not eat, so I should you eat this fruit only. Okay, he is experiencing everything. Okay, after experience he will remember that and he will do as per his experience. Okay, that is actually called as reinforced learning. Okay, so it's very simple. So he is interacting with the environment. Okay, this interaction with the environment is only way to get experience. Okay, whereas in supervised learning and unsupervised learning, we have provided data. So through that provided data, system was able to understand. Okay, so actually the training data is experience, but here the experience, it has automatically, it has to get through interaction with the environment. So here the agent, so for example, man is the agent. Okay, so this agent has to interact with the external environment to know about the environment, so that he will learn from the environment and then he will act on the environment. Okay, so I think you understood what is reinforced learning. Clear, or do you need more information about this? So we are not much concentrating on this reinforced learning. We are actually learning about supervised learning and unsupervised learning in this course. Okay, we'll be seeing one example on reinforced learning. Right. So in reinforced learning, what we can observe is, so what we have to do is, you have to establish or encourage a pattern of behavior. For example, your dog is sitting. Your dog is sitting. For example, now it has to walk. Okay, this is called as behavior, right? So from sitting to walk. So there is a state change in the state. Change in the state. Okay, so from sitting to walk. So here, this is the task. Okay, it has to do, but this dog don't know how to walk. Okay, it don't know how to change the state. Now it will try to walk. Okay, so this is called as actually action. Okay, it is trying to do this action, may fail sometimes. It may not walk because it doesn't know okay, how to walk, way to walk. Okay, now once it walk around, that environment, so it will get some experience, and through that it will try to walk again. Okay, this is also another example. So what we're trying to do is, so this concept is purely trial and error. Okay, it is learning from environment, it is getting data from environment. Okay, so see, it's a very simple: experience and learn from experience. So it first it has to get experience. After getting experience, it has to learn from the experience. That is the idea. Okay, here if you see no predefined data and no supervision, whereas in supervisor learning we have predefined data and also supervision. In unsupervised learning we have predefined data but there is no supervisor. In reinforced learning we don't have predefined data as well as supervisor. Remember this. Okay, this is a basic difference between supervisor learning, unsupervised learning and reinforced learning. Okay, so I think you understood what exactly it is. Okay, sometimes if there is a concept called as reward or punishment. If you see the example, previous example, a man in the island. So for example, there are like fruits, different fruits. Some fruits may be poisonous fruits, some fruits may be sweet and tasty, but he don't know. Okay, he don't know whether these fruits are poisonous fruits or sweet, tasty fruits. But first he has to experience. For example, without knowledge he may be eating this poisonous fruit or bitter taste fruit. Okay, when he ate that fruit he will get experience that this is a bitter fruit, and the taste is not good and poisonous, he may be getting fever. After that he will classify, okay, I should not eat this particular fruit. Okay, but still he got some punishment, right? What is the punishment he got here? Bitterness, or maybe some fever he got because this is a poisonous fruit. That is the punishment. Through the punishment he will learn. Or here if you see, if he found a good fruit, tasty and sweet fruit, so this is actually reward. Okay, so actually the system learns through punishments and rewards and try to improve the system performance. So system performance will be improved through this particular learning. Okay, so all of you clear, right? So what is rewards and punishments in reinforced learning? So applications, when you come to the applications, so you will see robotics and self-driving cars. Remember, it is very useful for robotics as well as self-driving cars. It uses QLearn. QLearn is an algorithm it is using, and also there is another algorithm called as SARSA. These two are very good algorithms being used in robotics and self-driving cars, which are purely reinforced algorithms. Okay, so most of the industrial automation companies which are using autonomous robots today, okay, for example, if you see KUKA robots, okay, you can search in the YouTube KUKA robots, they're also actually following QLearn and QLearn algorithms, okay, to train their robot. Okay, so you can train your robot for doing different tasks based on these reinforced algorithms. So okay, they can learn from the environment, and at the same time they gain the experience. Based on the experience they will make decisions. Okay, so these are the examples, and you should remember this simple term called as feedback mechanism, because reinforced learning always uses feedback mechanism. Okay, what is feedback mechanism? Okay, so for example, a man in the island chooses poisonous fruit, then what is the feedback to him? Punishment. What is the punishment? It says it is poisonous. The punishment says it is poisonous. So now based on the feedback he will change the action now. Okay, he says, okay, I should not eat this fruit. Okay, it's purely based on the feedback mechanism. Okay, he experienced, based on that he will get the feedback, based on the feedback he will act. Okay, generally we see this feedback mechanism in automatic control systems. Okay, so automatic control systems where you see this feedback mechanism. So this reinforcement learning also can be used in control mechanism. Okay, control mechanism also. So for example, you can use it for automatic control systems also. So actually people are implementing this particular reinforced learning in automatic control systems to improve robotic performance. Okay, so I hope you are clear about three algorithms we have learned. So one is, one type is supervised learning, unsupervised learning, reinforced learning. Okay, so in supervised learning we have seen two different types. One is regression type algorithms, another one is classification type algorithms. Now we are going to discuss about regression type algorithms. We are going to see in detail. Okay, so simply we have seen only overview so far, but now we are going to see what exactly regression is. Okay, so now we will study what are the different types of algorithms present in regression. So far all of you were able to understand, right? If you have any doubts or questions, please let me know. You can post in the chat. Okay, I will reply. Right. So now we are seeing regression. Okay. So we know regression algorithms are under supervised learning algorithms. Supervised learning algorithms. So we learned that regression algorithms are very useful to predict continuous value. To predict continuous values. So what are the examples we have seen for regression algorithms? So what we can do with the regression algorithms? So main purpose of regression algorithms is to predict continuous values, means prediction of temperature. You can predict temperature, you can predict for example stock prices, you can predict stock prices, you can predict, for example, there are so many continuous variables in the world. For example, soil moisture you can predict, or you can predict precipitation. So there are so many continuous variables in the world, so sometimes you may get a problem to solve. Okay, so how to do that? Okay, so how this regression helps us to predict continuous value. Okay, so we are going to see this in this session, how we can use regression algorithms to predict continuous values. What is regression? A regression being used, remember, regression is a statistical method. Statistical method. This method is being used in many sectors like banking, investment sector, and then finance, health, IoT, industries, energy sector, power sector. So see, all these fields, why people are using in all the sectors, because regression is very easy technique, because it is purely statistical method which will help us to give a relationship between two variables. It gives relation between two or more variables. It's a very simple. Regression provides a statistical way of relationship between two variables. Okay, for example, you have two variables x and y. So this relationship provides, this regression provides relationship between these two, x and y. So y is equal to f of x. Okay, means y depends on x values. If x changes, y also changes. Okay, so regression provides this relationship. Okay, so we are going to see in detail how this relation will be. Okay, see, regression, there are three types of regression. One is linear regression, multiple linear regression, polynomial regression. Okay, so we'll see what are the differences between linear regression, multiple linear regression, and polynomial regression. Okay, so first we will try to understand linear regression. So linear regression means simple linear regression. Okay, so we'll see an example. Okay, through this example you can easily understand. Okay, so what is regression? Okay, here we have two variables, all of you. So we want to design smart irrigation system. In smart irrigation system design, we have two variables. One variable is temperature. One variable is temperature. Another variable is soil moisture. These are the two variables we have. Okay, you have data about these two variables. Okay, you collected data. Okay, so you have data. So at 28 degrees centigrade you have 60% soil moisture in your soil. At 29 degrees centigrade, you have 55% soil moisture. At 40 degrees centigrade temperature, you have 35% soil moisture. So you have this data. Now what you have to do is how these two are related, how you can relate these two values. What is the relationship between temperature and soil moisture? So based on this data, you have to obtain a relationship. Okay, so obtaining a relationship between two variables is the method called as regression. Okay, so regression is a method to obtain a relationship between two variables. Okay, one is dependent variable, another one is independent variable. I'll be explaining you what is dependent variable and what is independent variable. So if you see here, if you see the relationship between temperature and soil moisture, generally soil moisture depends on temperature. If temperature increases, what happens to soil moisture? Yes, anybody please tell me the answer. If temperature increases, what happens to soil moisture? Yes, automatically decreases. Very good. Nitish, Ram, Sri Ganesh, yeah, it's correct. Okay, if temperature increases, automatically soil moisture decreases. Okay, this is the relationship. So we know basically there is a relationship between temperature and soil moisture. From this you can understand. Okay, now our aim is, it's very simple. So you can identify now, this is the temperature is the independent variable, whereas soil moisture is the dependent variable, because soil moisture is depending on temperature. So you can write a function like this: soil moisture is equal to function of temperature. It's a function of temperature. It's very simple. Try to understand. Soil moisture is function of temperature. Okay, so we don't know this function, but just we have assumed this is a function. Okay, so this is one single function. Sm is soil moisture equal to f of temperature. Okay, so in linear regression, simple linear regression, we generally use straight line equation. All of you know straight line equation. Okay, what is the straight line equation? Please give the formula. If you know the slope and intercept, what is the formula for straight line equation? If you know slope m, and if you know the intercept c, so what is the formula for straight line equation? Yes, excellent, Sridipti, Kiran, yeah, okay, Nitish, Satisai. So y is equal to mx plus c. Okay, so y is equal to mx plus c. Yes, Vinay, excellent. Okay, yeah. So all of you can respond. Okay, you can give answers in this chart. Okay, so it's a very simple. Y is equal to mx plus c, right? So how you can write this relationship? Simply y is function of x. So this function y equal to f of x is written like this: y is equal to mx plus c. Here m is the slope, c is the y-intercept, We know that. Ashwini, yeah, thank you, Ashwini. So here what we are trying to do is a simple thing. So we know now soil moisture is function of temperature. So we want to obtain the relationship. Okay, now Sm is equal to some m into t plus c. Okay, so means soil moisture is equal to some slope into temperature plus intercept. Okay, we want to obtain a relationship like this, okay, for the given data. Okay, so we have data. So now we want to get an equation from this particular data. Means we want to convert this entire data into a one single equation, so that this equation will give relationship between the these two values. Try to understand. So here you have temperature, here is soil moisture. Now how this equation should be obtained? Remember, 60 is equal to m into 28 plus c. Okay, so these M and C values are such a way that when you give M and C values, so this 28, when you multiply this 28 with M and add C value, then you should get 60. Okay, so the same equation should satisfy all these points, if it is satisfying all these points, well, you have designed a system, okay, or a model which will actually relate between these two variables, right? So now you are able to relate temperature and soil moisture through an equation. Okay, that equation is simple, right? Soil moisture equal to slope into temperature plus C here. Okay, so this is called as simple linear regression. Okay, this process is called as simple linear regression process. Remember, in simple linear regression process, you should have only two variables. Remember, you should have only two variables. If you see in this data, you have two variables only, right? What are the two variables? You have temperature, one variable, another one is soil moisture. Remember, so this temperature is already, you know, this is actually independent variable, whereas this is the dependent variable. So in linear regression, we should have only one independent variable. If your soil moisture is depending on only one single parameter, temperature, then it is called as simple linear regression. If the parameters are more, then we should go for another regression technique. Okay, so we'll be discussing about that another regression technique now. So this is called as simple linear regression. In simple linear regression, the first step what you have to do is you have to plot a graph between these two variables. Okay, you have to take temperature and soil moisture. So x-axis temperature, y-axis soil moisture. Now when you actually plot the scatter plot, for example, you have here 10, 20, 30, 60, so on. This is a temperature. For example, at 28 degrees centigrade, what is the value here? This is 60. This is the point. This is for example, this is 60, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So you will get different points here. So you will get points like this. Okay. When you plot all the points, so we'll get a plot like this. Okay, 2860 you have point like here, 2960 you have another point here, 2955 you have another point, another one is 40 you have here, 40 maybe temperature here, and then 35, so you have here another point. So you'll be getting different points here. Okay, so these points, based on these points, you have to understand whether all the points, so you have to understand how you can combine all these points, how you can relate all these points. Okay, I'll be showing an example here, example data here. So we have learned that in simple linear regression we need to have two variables. One variable is called as independent variable, another variable is a dependent variable. Okay, so here temperature is independent variable, so this independent variable is also called as explanatory variable. Explanatory variable means the variable which gives information about the output. Okay, so here temperature gives information about the output. Okay, it will explains how the output will change based on this particular parameter. Okay, this is called as independent variable. Okay, same way you can see here soil moisture. Soil moisture is the dependent variable. Okay, so this is also called as output variable or response variable. Okay, so now based on this you have relationship soil moisture is equal to f of temperature. This is a simple straight line equation, so S equal to mt plus c. Okay, soil moisture equal to m into t plus c. Okay, it is very similar to y is equal to mx plus c. Here we know m is the slope of the straight line and c is the y intercept. Okay, so where generally the line crosses the y-axis. Okay, we know that, right? This is what we have learned about simple linear regression. So now when you draw the points, okay, when you draw the points between temperature and soil moisture, so you got point like this. Okay, these are all points related to temperature and soil moisture. Now what you have to do is regression method is very simple. You have to obtain a best fit for all these points. Okay, for example, can we draw a line like this? If I draw a line like this, what happens? Please tell me. So we have these points. Now we have to draw a line which satisfies all these points. Means this line should be very near to all the points. If I draw a line like this, what happens? This line is near to this point, but it is too far from this particular point, from this point. So we should not draw a line like this, because this is not the best fit for these particular data points. Okay, so best fit here is this line. We have drawn a line which is the best fit. Okay, so this is the best fit. Best fit means which is satisfying all these points. Okay, best fit means which minimizes the error, minimizes the error. So what is the error? Okay, so difference between from here to here, this difference is called as error. Okay, actually it should pass through all the points. The line should pass through all the points. Okay, but generally it is not possible to pass this particular line through all the points. Okay, so to obtain the best fit, we will try to move this line up and down, and we have to check the errors. So you have to choose a line which has a very less error. Okay, so you have to check for the minimum error. Okay, so to obtain this line with minimum error, we use simple regressions. So simple regression method helps us to get a best fit with minimized error if you have data like this. Okay, sometimes data may not be like this. Okay, in such cases you have to choose another regression method. Okay, so regression method, when choosing regression method, you have to remember, okay, so how your data looks. Okay, so sometimes data, maybe you have data points like this. Okay, these are all data points. You have data points like this. Then your graph may be like this. It may not be straight line, but it should be some curve. Okay, so so if you have this curved line, then you should not use simple linear regression. You should go for polynomial regression. I'll be discussing about this later. Okay, so far do you have any doubts? Please let me know. If you have any doubt, I will explain you. Bhavana, Preeti, Manasa, Kiran, Vinay, if you have any doubts, please let me know. You can ask me doubt, no problem. I am here to help you. Right. So if you see here, now we have data, right? Yeah, when we should use multiple linear regression, I'm going to explain, Vinay. So when to use multiple linear regression, just after this slide you will get that answer. Okay, yeah. So if you see here, goal is to obtain the best fit for the given data points. Okay, so how to obtain? So we are going to use regression statistical method. Okay, now we have the equation as C equal to mt plus c. So the regression, by using regression we were able to calculate two values. One is slope, another one is c. Okay, you can compute by using regression. Okay, this is a method, so you can use matrix algebra, or you can use statistics to find m and c values, or you can use Python scikit-learn. Okay, this is a machine learning algorithm. It will compute within seconds. You will get results within seconds. When you do manual computation, it will take hours. Okay, you don't go with the mathematical methods. It is very easy to go with the Python scikit, which provides the function to calculate m and c within seconds you can compute M and C values, M and C, which are unknown. Generally M is called as, generally we call M as weight. M is weight or coefficient, we call it as, in regression we call it as a weight or coefficient. Okay, so you can compute weight or coefficient or slope by using different methods. In this class we are going to calculate these coefficients by using Python programs. Okay, so Python has a rich package called as scikit-learn. Scikit-learn is a machine learning package which contains all these methods. You have methods for regression, simple linear regression, polynomial regression, multiple linear regression. So you have different algorithms available in this package. Okay, it is a function. Okay, you can use that function. Okay, it is easy. So now after computing, so you have this M value and T value. Okay, now this is the best fit. This is the best fit. Now what you can do is simply give temperature. So for example, I am submitting 28 value. So if you see here 28, all of you, if you see here 28, so at 28 value, what is the temperature? So see at 28 temperature, you have soil moisture 60%, right? So but now you have a model which can predict soil moisture for given temperature. Okay, so if you see here, now substitute temperature 28. So now you want to find at T equal 28 what is soil moisture. You are testing your model. Okay, now you have submitted this. So minus 1.94815 into 28 plus this constant 113.25. So you will be getting about 58.71106. This is the predicted value. We have predicted it by using our model. We design a model by using simple linear regression. Okay, we got predicted value as 58.71106. okay, this is the predicted value, but what is the actual value at T equal 28? Actual value is 60. Okay, when you see the difference between these two, you will see a very less difference, right? So how much difference you can see? Not more than 2, right? Not more than 2. Error is less. Okay, now your model is able to predict. You can give any temperature. So for example, temperature is 40, automatically it can predict your soil moisture values. So based on temperature values, now with temperature you can directly obtain soil moisture values. See how fun it is, right? So you have a model. Now you can easily predict soil moisture with the base, simply if you give temperature, right? The same way it works for different fields. You can use this in different fields. Okay, not just in IoT, you can use for other fields also. Is this clear, right? All of you, you can test this for different scenarios also. So I'll be providing this PPT today in the Google Classroom. Please log into the Google Classroom and test this. Okay, so this is the machine learning model. We have designed the model. So this is the model, this is the machine learning model. Now we got, so we are providing input here. So model should give output. So we are providing temperature input, so we are getting soil moisture output, right? Yeah, so all of you clear, right, how we are getting? So Ashwini, I am not please give question clearly. What is your question? Please let me know your question.
Hello.
Yeah, please.
Google Classroom code, sir.
Yeah, I will send everything. Okay, so I will give you. Okay, yeah, thank you. So after the class I will send you. Okay, please give me mail ID, I will give you. Okay, right, please give your email IDs in the chat, I will provide. Right, so we are providing temperature input and you are getting soil moisture output values. Okay, this is called as machine learning model. Once your model is trained, now you are able to test it and then you can deploy also. So simple, right? First you have to train the model. Training the model is very simple. Obtaining an equation. In regression, obtaining an equation. Okay, so we obtain an equation. Testing, test for error. Okay, so if you are getting good accuracy, means if error is very less, then you can use this, you can deploy this. You can deploy, means you can use for your application, right? M and C values are fixed. Yes, once you have trained your model, M and C values will be fixed for the given data. Okay, so if you want to improve this, and you can try if you give more number of values, M and C values changes. M and C values are purely based on the given data. Okay, if you change the data, M and C values also changes. Okay, Vinay, clear? Is your doubt clear?
How can we get MNC values, sir?
All of you remember the model gives M and C values. Okay, so getting M and C values, we are going to use simple linear regression. Simple linear regression is the method to calculate both M and C. So modeling is nothing but we are calculating MLC, right? Calculating MLC is simple regression. Okay, but you don't know what is simple regression. All of you don't know, right? What is simple regression? We are going to learn what is simple regression. Okay, so there is some mathematical, things we should learn. We are going to explain everything. Okay, this is introduction about this simple linear regression. Okay, so we are going to see underlying mathematics. Okay, how to actually model and everything. This is the example to give you idea about what is simple linear regression. Okay, so here algorithm is to find M and C values. Remember, we are finding modeling is nothing but finding M and C values only, finding these two only. That is actually modeling. Okay, machine learning modeling. Here what we are trying to do is finding M and C values. For finding M and C values, we are using simple linear regression. Simple linear regression technique called as OLS. So we are going to see OLS. Okay, ordinary least squares method. Ordinary least squares method is used for solving to find M and C values. We are going to see this, okay, in the next classes. So while doing the practicals, okay, we are going to learn mathematics behind everything. Okay, we will do practically calculations also. Manually we will do that. Python, by using Python also you can do that. Better to use always Python, because manually we cannot do these things. Okay, clear, Vinay? Is my answer clear to you? Yes, I'm waiting for you. Okay, yeah, thank you. Right, suppose you have data, right? Temperature, humidity, rainfall, and soil moisture. Previously you have only temperature and soil moisture only, but now you have data like temperature data is available, humidity data is available, rainfall data is available, and soil moisture also available. Now soil moisture is function of how many variables? It depends on three parameters. What are the three parameters here? Temperature, humidity, rainfall. See, here you will see a more number of independent variables. How many number of independent variables you can see here? There are three independent variables. Though dependent variable is one, but independent variables are three. Means your soil moisture is depending on three. Okay, now the equation will change. So the soil moisture equation will be different now. Previously it is S is equal to. So all of you, can you hear my voice? Any problem with my voice? Please let me know. Anyone facing issue with my audio? Please let me know. Okay. Yeah, I think you have to check once, because all of your 15 students are getting clear. So you should check at your end. Maybe there may be some problem, maybe internet connection or some speakers problem. Please check once or restart so that you will hear properly. I think. Is that okay, Nitish? Shall I go forward? Okay. So it's simple. So now you can see independent variables increase to 3. Previously only one independent variable, only temperature. So you can model now soil moisture is a function of temperature, humidity, and then rainfall. Okay, so here if you see 3 parameters, okay, on which your soil moisture is depending. Okay, so you cannot solve this by using simple linear regression. In simple linear regression, you can generally you need to have only one dependent variable and one independent variable. Okay, so Sm is equal to f of t, then you can solve by using simple linear regression. But if there are more number of variables, okay, then you should go for another technique called as multiple linear regression. Remember, if the number of independent variables are more than one, okay, then you should go for multiple linear regression. Okay, because we have more numbers, so y equal mx plus c will not help us. We have to go for another equation like Sm is equal to sum a into t, b into h plus c into r plus some constant. Okay, here a is, here t is the temperature, h is humidity, r is rain, and a b c d are constants, so are coefficients, so we can say weights. Coefficients are weights. Our task is to find a b c d. Okay, modeling, here the modeling is very simple. You need to find what is a b c d values. In the previous equation we have seen only two terms like m and c. Okay, two things you have to find, m and c, but here you have to find a value, b value, c value, d value to obtain the modeling. So in order to do this, we are going to use multiple linear regression technique. So all of you clear, right? So you understood the difference between linear regression, simple linear regression, and multiple linear regression, right? So what is the difference between simple linear regression and multiple linear regression? If the number of independent variables are more, then you have to go for multiple linear regression. So you can see different examples. So if simple thing you can see here, uses several explanatory variables. So explanatory variables are nothing but independent variables to predict the outcome of a response. Okay, so and then multiple regression is an extension of simple linear regression. Remember, it is just an extension of simple linear regression only. So if the case is like this, these are the examples for multiple linear regression data. So if you see here, this in this data, predicting stock index price based on interest rate, unemployment rate. Okay, you have here two parameters, interest rate and unemployment rate. Based on these two parameters, you have to predict stock price. So you have two independent variables here. One is interest rate, another one is unemployment rate. Okay, based on these two variables, okay, so you have to predict the stock price. So you have two independent variables, so you should not use simple linear regression, but you have to use multiple linear regression. Same way, this is another example to find yield from a chemical process. Okay, so generally the yield from a chemical process depends on some factors. For example, factor 1 and factor 2. So yield is depending on these two factors. Now you have two parameters, right? So this method is generally multiple linear regression method you have to use because you have more than one parameter. So if you see the difference between the equations, this equation for a simple linear regression, whereas if you see here, this is for multiple linear regression. Okay, here you will see x1, x2 and so on are called as independent variables. Okay, here we have more number of independent variables, then you have to go for multiple linear regression. If you have only one single independent variable, then you have to go for simple linear regression. I hope all of you are clear, got understanding about difference between simple linear regression and multiple linear regression, right? Any questions, please ask me. Right, so today we have learned about reinforced learning, and then in supervised learning we know classification. Supervised learning is classified into classification as well as regression. The regression is classified into three things. One is simple linear regression, multiple linear regression, polynomial regression. We have seen what is simple linear regression and multiple linear regression, and then we will see about polynomial regression also. Okay, right, so I'll be closing the session today. Okay, all of you clear, right? So we are learning basic theory, okay, basic understanding about the machine learning algorithms. Okay, we are seeing only machine learning algorithms, we are not going in detail. We'll go slowly. Okay, so we'll start going to deep. Initially we will see the abstract information about these algorithms. Okay, if you have any doubt or if you are facing any difficulty, if the problem is with my communication, or with my ascend, or if I'm going fast or slow, please let me know. Okay, I'm here to help you. You can suggest me. Okay, I'm open to change. Okay, yeah, thank you. Thank you all. Right, Sri Ganesh. Okay, so reinforcement learning, very simple. See, reinforced learning is very simple. You have, for example, a man in the island, as I already told you. A man in the, take the example, simple example, man in the island. Now he don't know what to eat, right? Because he don't know in the island what may be available. So he may not get apples, oranges, but he has to eat whatever may be available in the island, right? So if some other fruit is available, he should eat it, because there is no option, because he has to live there, right? So to live there, he has to eat something, he has to search for some fruit. So he searched for fruits, for example, some eatables. So suppose we have taken example of fruits. So there are different fruits, right? So some fruits are good for eating, some fruits are not good, bad for eating, good, and some are not good, bad. So now he don't know which fruits are good and which fruits are bad. He has so many fruits available, so he can make a choice. But how, on what basis he can make a choices? Generally human beings make choices once they know something about a particular thing. Okay, we choose because we have experience, but this man is not having any experience about these fruits, but still to live he has to eat, right? So in such case, what he will do is he will pick some fruit, because he don't know, he will pick randomly, he will pick a fruit. So after picking the fruit, he will eat that fruit. If that fruit is okay, good, okay, then he will continue to eat. Okay, so and he will understand, okay, this fruit is good, so because of that fruit I got some strength, the taste is also good, so I should eat this fruit. Though he don't know the name, but he will remember that fruit and he will eat that fruit. Okay, so he got a reward here. What is the reward? So whatever may be the technique that he has followed, so he trialed. So this is actually a trial. Okay, generally we call it as a trial. So he actually followed some technique and it was correct, he can eat that fruit. Okay, now his trial is good, there is no error. So that is called as reward. Okay, now reward is in feedback, he will get the reward. Reward is saying, okay, you can eat the fruit, it is good for health. Now he will continually eat that fruit, and next time so he may be getting bored, right? So he should not eat continuously the same fruits, because there are so many fruits available. So what he will do, he will try to pick another type of fruit. Okay, he will taste it. Okay, so now it is bitter. After eating he got fever. Okay, this is actually punishment, we call it as a punishment, because he ate a fruit but now he got fever and he was not well. So he got a feedback. What is the feedback now? Feedback is punishment, right? He ate the fruit. Okay, so now after eating the fruit he got fever and fruit was taste was not good. So now the feedback is a punishment, so you should not eat it, you should not eat it. So next time when he sees that fruit, now he understood that I should not eat this fruit, it is not good. So now he got experience. Now he got experience about good fruit and bad fruit. And the similar way, so he will be learning only through interaction with the environment. So if he interacts with the environment, then only he will get the experience. Okay, without interaction he won't get the experience. Okay, so in reinforcement learning, so we generally, the man here, the man is agent, so agent should interact with the environment and he has to get the experience. Based on the experience, his model will get trained. Okay, based on that he will make the decisions. Okay, clear, Sri Ganesh? Is this clear? Okay, if you have still doubts, please let me know. Okay, I'm here to help you. Okay, so today I'll be closing the session. Okay, still few more are joining us, so that's why I'm slow. Okay, yeah, thank you all. So if you have any feedback, please let me know. and I'll be adding all of you in the Google Classroom. Okay, so you'll be getting access to all the files in Google Classroom. I have sent one quiz. Okay, please please do that quiz. That is introductory quiz, okay, to know about yours knowledge and everything, so that I will change my curriculum based on that. Okay, please attempt the quiz. That is introductory quiz. It is very simple quiz, already available in the Google Classrooms. Okay, yeah, thank you.